ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 भाष्य. So we saw up till the right wing and the left wing, Ritam and Satyam. Now, Yoga Atma. Yoga Atma Mahah Pucham Pratishtha Tadapyesha Shloko Bhavati, like that. That is the text. So, Bhashyakara says, Adishankara says, Yoga. So he does not talk about Ritam and Satyam either. He says, Rita Satye Yatha Vyakhyate Eva. Yatha Vyakhyata Eva. Ritam and Satyam have already been explained. Go back to the beginning of this Upanishad, then read your notes or read my notes. That is the idea. Not going to explain it again. Then Yogaha Yuktihi Samadhanam Atma Iva Atma. So he gives 2-3 lines on this word Yoga Atma. Atma means what? Atma is not here Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Atma here means the heart of the matter, that upon which everything is hinging. What is the heart to the body? It is the middle, it's right in the middle. But then what does it do? It supplies blood to all the extremities and organs, including the head, and then makes everything function. If the heart were to stop, everything would stop. That's the idea. So it is kind of like the heart of the matter. And so so Atma here means the central portion. The central portion of what? The bird. The bird imagery, the central portion of this akara, this purusha akara, the central portion of the bird here in the imagery. So the body of the bird here is called yoga. Yoga. What is this yoga? Asana. Which asana? If you say asana, then you have to find out which asana. No, no, no. It's not that kind of asana. It's not that kind of yoga. So he describes yoga yuktihi. Yuktihi means joining together. In fact, the asana is also because things that are never supposed to join together, one body part joins the other body part. It's very difficult to see how they join together, but they do. And so that is also a kind of a yukti. But here, yukti is something else, and that also he's going to explain. So, first, yoga yuktihi. Yukti means a certain kind of an integration. Yoga yuktihi. And what is yukti? Samadhanam. some samadhanam means that which is that which has come to a state of repose. Samadhanam, that which is no longer restless, moving, seeking, come to a repose. And that is Atma Iva Atma, the middle portion, meaning the most crucial portion is what is at hand. Let us translate this and then we look at it in detail. So then, Atmavataha, Atmavan, Atmavanta, uh, Atmavantaha, like this, then Atmavataha is sixth case here, for the one equipped with the Atma. Doesn't everybody have Atma? No, 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 not that kind of Atma. Atma here means togetherness, integration. Yuktasya, endowed with this integrity alone, Samadhanavataha, the one whose mind is at rest. Angani iva, and so forth. When the middle portion is in repose, then the limbs are not restless. So angani iva, that which is the stand-in for the limbs. What are the stand-in for the limbs? Shraddha-dini, Shraddha Adini, Shraddha, etc. Where did this Shraddha come from? The head is Shraddha, right wing is Rhythm, left wing is Satyam. We saw that. Remember? When did we see it? In the last Janma, in the last life. Okay? No, only yesterday we saw it. We saw this only yesterday. All right. And so, Shraddha Devi, the various limbs are, if the central portion has integrity, this is true of a structural thing also. The foundation has to be secure. And to the foundation, you can tack different things, and they will all be secure if the foundation is secure. So here, the foundation, the this Atma here means the middle portion of the bird. When that is stable, then Shraddha is etc. Shraddha, Ritam, Satyam, all of them are stable. And why do we need the Shraddha to be stable? Because, and then again he gives it's very nice because each thing has got a yukti and a hetu. It's got a logic and a reason. Very, very nice. So why do we need the Shraddha and the other limbs to be stable? Because they become Yathartha Pratipatti Kshamani. So Yatha Artham तथा प्रतिपत्तिः यथार्थ प्रतिपत्तिः यथार्थ प्रतिपत्ति क्षमाणि भवन्ति. So they become what? Kshamani bhavanti, capable. Kshama means capable. They have the kshamyata, they have the capacity. Capacity to do what? To understand, to pratipatti, to understand, to cognize what? Yathartha. Yathartha is the knowledge of the reality. Just as the reality is, not as you will have it to be. Usually what happens? We see what we want to see. Is it not right? Yes. We see with certain filters. We see with subjective filters. With certain kinds of subjectivity we see. But then here the objective cognition of the I as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is possible when the Atma, meaning the body, is intact and the body is the heart of the matter here. When at the heart of the Vijnanamaya, there is a certain integrity, there is a certain emotional, cognitive, and spiritual growth, emotional maturity. That is yoga, that is yukti. We'll see this in detail. And then, when that happens, when the mind is at rest, When the mind rests in the heart, then what happens? The various limbs also stop becoming restless and they subserve. They are available for the pursuit of Brahma Vidya. Shraddha is available. Otherwise, Shraddha is eclipsed because of my partial view, my partial vision. Partial vision based on what? Childhood hurts and pains unprocessed. So, based on that, Shraddha is inhibited. Ritam and Satyam, due to the pressures of Raga Dveshas, because of the self ignorance and because of wanting to do this, that, or the other, the Ritam and Satyam are inhibited, and therefore the Yathartha Pratipatti does not take place, cannot take place. How can it take place when the accoutrements are not in order? So, the Yathartha Pratipatti means the assimilation of Brahma Vidya cannot take place. So, so Yathartha Pratipatti Kshamani Bhavanti. The various limbs, Shraddha, etc., the head and the right wing and the left wing, mm, exemplified by Shraddha, Satya Bhashanam, and living in truth, speaking the truth, that which is exemplified, and that these limbs become capable of revealing the truth of the I, or assimilating the revealed truth of the I revealed by the teacher and the Shastra. Tasmat, therefore, Samadhanam Yoga Atma Vijnanamayasya. So, therefore, the Atma of the Vijnanamaya is Samadhanam. Samadhanam here, as Adi Shankara uses the word, always when he uses the word Samadhanam, it is not some kind of samadhi or anything. It is Samadhanam means it is the Chitta Samadhan. Chitta Samadhan. What is Chitta Samadhanam? Neutralizing Raga and Dvesha. And how do you neutralize Raga and Dvesha? By putting them, Raga, strong preferences, Dvesha, strong prejudices. How do you neutralize them? By putting them on a diet of Karma Yoga. What are they having for breakfast? Karma Yoga. Then what are they having for lunch? Karma Yoga. What are they having for dinner? Karma Yoga. Tea and snacks? Karma Yoga. What are they having for supper? Karma Yoga. They are eating, sleeping, breathing, Karma Yoga. Who is they? The strong preferences and prejudices. They have become fat. Why have they become fat? They have become fat because of being overindulged. So the Raga and Dvesha gain in stature, they become bada, they become big. And then when they become big, they need to lose weight. Because otherwise, literally and figuratively, they throw their weight around and stop from they stop one from pursuing the truth of the self. So when one goes for the annual checkup, one is put on the scale in the doctor's office. Oh, first the doctor will not come. The nurse practitioner will see the weight and make some clucking noises and then go away. Then the doctor will come, then perhaps say, okay, little bit, discretion is needed in the eating, drinking department. And so like this, the same thing happened to one man who went to the doctor. And the doctor said, you just need to go on a diet. Look, you have put on 5 kilos in the last 6 months. Not good. This is almost like 1 kilo per month. 1 kilo is roughly a little more than 2 pounds. 2.2 pounds is 1 kilo. So you put 1 kilo in per month almost. You're not good. You should go on a diet. Oh, I don't know how to go on a diet. The doctor says that's very easy. For breakfast, you just have some kind of a little bit of a protein, and you can have some protein milk, and then maybe some toast, and then for so you can say, he says, in the morning you can have this, you can have some toast and some protein, whey protein or something like that, pea protein, something you can have. And then afterwards, you can have two chapatis, you know, around afternoon, you can have two chapatis. And then night again, you can have little rice or two chapatis and some vegetables. Eat lots of green leafy vegetables. And the doctor, the patient has only one question. What is the question? All this, I have made a wonderful list. Thank you very much. Should I eat this before lunch or before breakfast or before dinner? This was his question. And so, like this, the Raga Dvesha keep on gaining momentum. They put on weight and they are unhealthy for one's spiritual quest. Because the more we nurture and put food in front of the strong preferences and prejudices, they gobble it up and they put on weight. They throw their weight around, and pretty soon, instead of you enjoying the fact that you have free will and the will to desire, you have desires. Instead of enjoying the desires, you are enslaved by them very soon. Very soon. Like the camel in the desert. The camel in the desert belongs to a man by the name of Muhammad, who is a tradesman, and he goes. Then what does he do? Night falls. Desert nights can be very, very cold. He pitches a tent, ties the camel outside the tent, gets into the tent. And then suddenly the camel pokes its head in the tent and says, my nose is so cold. Please, master, can I just put my nose in the tent? And the guy is sleepy. So he says, yeah, yeah, sure, put the nose in the tent. 2 hours later, again, the camel wakes him up. My front feet are too cold. My neck, I don't have any kind of a wrap or a shawl or a muffler. Can I put my neck and my front paws in the tent? Yeah, yeah, just don't wake me up. And then he just turns over and goes to sleep. And in the morning, camel inside the tent, Muhammad outside the tent. Okay. And this is what happens to the Ragadveshas. They not only take over your house, your inner house, where you feel at home and you feel stable, they kick you out. They kick you out. You feel homeless and at their behest all the time. And therefore, yoga atma, here this yoga means chitta samadhanam. And what is chitta samadhanam? Neutralizing these ragadveshas. How does one neutralize them? Through putting them on a diet of karma yoga. Karma yoga means you do what you have to do rather than doing it for the sake of wish fulfillment, desire fulfillment. You don't do that. You do what you have to do for the sake of self growth. There's a difference. You are still doing, yes, you are active, you are fulfilling many roles, you are doing this, doing that, going here, going there, finishing this, finishing that. You have projects, you have agenda, everything is there. But the main difference is you are not doing it because you have divested from the role of being a karma phala hog. You are not interested in the fruits of action. You are interested in your self growth. Let the fruit of action come or don't come. And so, this way, the raga and the dvesha suddenly feel like a tumor whose blood supply has been cut off. That's what happens. They wither away. They wither away and die off slowly. This is what is Karma Yoga. Ishwararpana Buddhi, where Bhagavan is the recipient of all your actions and the giver of the fruits of all actions. And so Bhagavan, Ishvara is brought front and center, and this Karma Yoga is practiced. And so therefore one is not in the so the pressure of the Raga Dvesha is not there. Because Raga Dveshas are not a big deal. Sarvesham buddhau Raga Dveshau vyavasthitau. Lord Krishna says this in the Bhagavad Gita. So, what does that mean? In every buddhi, Vijnanamaya. Buddhi means Vijnanamaya. In every buddhi, raga and dvesha have been neatly arranged. Vyavasthitaho. The setup for raga and dvesha are there. Oh, yeah, that means I can have lots of raga dveshas. Yes, you can, but read the fine print. What is the fine print? तयोर् वशं न आगच्छेत् तौ हि अस्य पुरुषस्य परिपन्थिनौ. Do not, O Arjuna, come under their spell, because these are the enemies of the person who is a sadhaka. Sadhaka means seeker. These are the enemies of the person who is seeking. Do not, O Arjuna, come under their spell. So the raga dveshas have to be made toothless, poisonless, like a devenomed cobra. People do this. They take it's a cruel practice, but then if you want to if you want to what is that? What do they do? Perform tricks with the snake. And in the olden days, they used to have this snake out of the basket, and the person used to play something. Actually, the snake is deaf, it cannot hear, but it was a particular kind of a gold pipe. And so the man would go like this, and the snake would feel menaced and want to strike like this, and it would look like the snake is dancing in response to the music, but that was just like a rope snake illusion. It was not real. So, but you can't have a real snake because it is striking at this gold instrument. And so, therefore, it is a real snake, but it is devenomed, devenomed cobra or a viper. So, devenomed means what? The poisonous sacs have been taken out so that the poor thing is unable to protect itself or produce venom. It can just hiss and strike, but nothing happens. No teeth, no venom. What is it going to do? And so, therefore, like this, the raga dveshas which hiss and strike and bite and inject toxicity into the pursuit by making one very much addicted to the fruits of action are devenomed by operation karma yoga. So this is chitta samadhanam. So that is so therefore what? The raga dveshas are still there, but they lack the inner pressure. Bhagavad Gita talks about this inner pressure. And it says, what does it say? Yash shaknoti ihaiva sodhum prak sharira vimokshanat kama krodhodbhavam vegam. This is what it says. Sa buddhiman sa sukhi naraha, something like that it says. So that is the person who is wise and who is the happy person. Who is the happy person? Iha asmin janmani eva, in this life itself, the one who is able to resolve or let go of. Shaknoti, the one who is capable of letting go of what? Kama krodha udbhavam vegam. Vega is pressure. Vega means speed. The speed here is pressure. What is the pressure? The pressure to fulfill one's desires. That is the pressure. So, yahas shaknoti ihaivas sodhum, the one who is able to let go, the one who is able to not entertain the pressure. The pressure created by the raga dveshas for their instant fulfillment. Iha means prak sharira vimokshanat, before giving up the body, the one who is able to do this. Then that is the one, that is the wise person, that is the happy person. So the raga dveshas are okay so long as they are quiet and they do not give inner pressure. They do not put inner pressure. And what kind of pressure? The kind of pressure, I have to have this right now, with a kind of an immediacy. That pressure, they do not do, that raga dveshas, devoid of the pressure. Only then only the rhythm and satyam, the two limbs of this bird, the right wing and the left wing, are able to be activated. If the pressure of the raga dveshas, which is the atma, which is the body of the bird, are very much there, and the pressure is very much there, then one will cut corners, one is unable to walk the truth, to speak the truth. One will go against dharma, which is the combination of rhythm and satyam. And so therefore it will not work. Then Shraddha will also not work, because one is so much a control freak, trying to trying to produce the results of actions all the time, without recognizing that there is a niyati. Niyati means there is an order. There is an order, and in that order, my karma and whatever I want, whatever I need, is also included. That one is not able to understand. And so this raga dvesha pressure, if one is not under the spell, then ritam satyam are possible. Then the madhyama bhaga, which is the conquered raga dveshas, managed raga dveshas, are connected to the head, which is shraddha. When equipped with the proper values and attitudes, then the one has what is called chitta samadhanam, which is the fruit of karma yoga. Chitta samadhanam, antahkarana shuddhi, the cleansing of the antahkarana. And then the word yoga should bring for our recollection immediately two other verses of the Bhagavad Gita. Which are they? Three, in fact, but at least two we have studied in the Monday night class. So, sudden quiz in the middle of the Bhashya class, which was that way?
Samatvam yoga uchyate.
Very good. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Next one?
Yoga karmasu kaushalam.
Excellent. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Because the word yoga is there. The third one occurs in chapter 6. We may as well bring it in here also. Tam vidya dukkha samyoga viyogam yoga samyitam. Dukkha samyoga viyoga is equal to yoga. These three verses must be brought in whenever we talk about samadhanam, chitta samadhanam, and samadhi, not samadhi as the yoga shastras talk about chitta vritti nirodha, no, but as Bhashyakara describes, samahita buddhihi. That is the thing. And then so here, so the what is the samatvam yoga uchyate? The first definition of yoga in the Bhagavad Gita is samatvam, equanimity, with reference to how one receives the fruits of action. How does one greet the results of action? Because the results of action are truly not in your hands. Bhagavan gives the results of action. You are just there greeting the result of action. How do you greet the result of action? That is what is at stake here. And then the attitude that is recommended is samatvam, samata, equanimity. does not mean one has to be stoic, but samatvam means that one is very much mm, one is very much awareful that one is not producing the results of action. And so one cultivates a more or less cheerful attitude with regard to those outcomes of action where it is less than what one expects, when the outcome is less than the expectation, and when the outcome is opposite of one's expectation, samatvam is called for. Samatvam is also called for when the outcome is greater than the expectation. You were expecting $20 and you got $20,000. OMG! Yippee! There also you can go off hinges and you can fly off somewhere into the stratosphere because there is no equanimity. And here again, equanimity is needed. Whether the outcome is in keeping with your expectation, whether the outcome is greater than your expectation, whether the outcome is a little less than what you expect, and finally, whether the outcome is opposite of what you expect. You expected to cross the road and catch the bus on the other side, but then what? You ended up somewhere asking fundamental spiritual questions. Where am I? Who am I? Why am I here? And everybody is talking in hushed tones. So, you look to the left, you look to the right, you were a good citizen, you controlled all the controllable variables, but there was a hidden variable. Why? Because after all, this is India. India has to stand out. Why? What was the hidden variable? A banana peel that was thrown in the middle of the road. You had an instant skating lesson, which did not go well. And even though there was no traffic, one, one slipped, fell, and broke the leg, became unconscious. And then somebody put them in the hospital and they slowly came to. Totally opposite of one's expectation. Here too, one looks at one's own reaction and then seeing that it is a gift from Bhagava, Prasada Buddhi. Looking at it, one cultivates equanimity. That is the most important way of neutralizing ragadveshas. Then the other one is developing kushalata. Kushalata means expertise. Becoming an expert in what? In making sure that the actions are in tandem with Ritam and Satyam, with Dharma. When the actions are in tandem with Dharma, then you don't come to any grief. You are protected on all sides. And so making sure that the actions are in tandem with Dharma is one's job. And that is yoga karmasu kaushalam. Very, very important. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Kaushalam here is kushalasya bhava, kushalata, the abstract noun. Expertise. Expertise in what? In applying Ritam and Satyam to the events of the daily life. In applying the Ritam and Satyam to the events of the daily life. So, no problem at all there because there are many, many opportunities in life where you have to stand still and wonder what is the dharmic action here. How to look at all sides, and when is it correct to engage and when is it correct to walk away. These things don't come in an instruction booklet because we are talking of free will, your own and the people surrounding you. And the free will is can manifest itself in myriad possibilities, so many possibilities, all of which cannot be accounted for at all. So therefore, there is a dynamic connection with the Samanya Dharma, with the Sadharana Dharma, with Dharma, the universal Dharma. What is right, what is wrong? There is something universal about it. And then there is a specific Dharma, specific to the time and place, specific to the situation. Then that is called Vishesha Dharma. Yes, ahimsa, do not kill, do not injure. But then the doctor, the surgeon always wields the scalpel and causes injury. But that injury is okay. We pat the surgeon on the back. We thank them. Why? Because they save lives. They are causing an injury which requires stitches, all right, and then which requires recuperation. But that injury was minor compared to the tumor that needed to be taken out, because of which the life was saved. So, this is the interpretation of dharma, even ahimsa. And then finally, we have the iteration of dharma in one's life. Who am I in this particular iteration of this mind body complex? What is my duty? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do in the day to day? What are the roles to which I have agreed? You cannot say, I have babies, but I haven't agreed to be a parent. If you have babies, that means you have agreed to become a parent. That should be apparent. Okay. And then so you have agreed. But this is something where the iteration of dharma called swadharma. And there is something sadharana and vishesha. Vishesha means the specific roles. Somebody may be a mother and may not be a father, may not be a mother, may not be a father. But generally, everybody has one swadharma, that is to fulfill the birth as a human being by studying this knowledge and letting go of self ignorance. That is the common swadharma. Then there is specific swadharma. Somebody is an engineer, that is their swadharma. Somebody is a doctor, somebody is a contractor, somebody is an artist. So all these are specific swadharmas. So all these dharmas and when in the performance of these dharmas, these duties, and then I am mindful of Ritam and Satyam. Ritam and Satyam, the Samanya Dharma, becomes a sieve through which all the activities are tested and strained, filtered. So this is yoga karmasu kaushalam. Another important way of neutralizing the raga and dvesha, because the more one is in dharma, the less one is going after raga and dvesha. Then वियोगः योगः samyoga, coming together, union, viyoga, separation, dukkha samyoga, association with sorrow, dukkha samyoga viyoga, dissociation from association with sorrow. Look at the wordings of the Bhagavad Gita, it's amazing. Yoga is dot dot dot. What is yoga? Yoga is dissociation from association with sorrow. This is yoga. Dukkha samyoga viyogaha yogaha iti uchyate. So what is this dissociation from association with sorrow? In a way, sorrow is catching. Catching means it brings out the worst in oneself. That's why there is an old adage, misery loves company. That is what, and this must have been culled from the Bhagavad Gita itself. The Bhagavad Gita knew this 5,000 years ago. That's why there is a warning given in the 6th chapter. So sorrow is very catching. How is it catching? You have one sad thought, and then very soon the whole of you is depressed just by entertaining one tiny sad thought. And so many times, when I give public talks, I invite the people, okay, give me any word. Then I will make you sad inside 2 minutes. Within 2 minutes, I'll make everybody in the audience really sad. And so they try to challenge and they try to find out words. And one such time they said, flowers. Okay, you cannot make me sad. Nobody can become sad by hearing the word flowers. We kind of appropriate because there is a flower in the background here. So, flowers. I said, well, the flower industry in Colombia. As soon as I said that, there were a few groans in the audience. Then I said, okay, then we talked about how the flowers are harvested, how much pesticide is put, and how the pesticide is unfortunately going into the lungs of the flower farmers and inside the nails, and they are getting cancerous lesions on their hands and in their lungs. And that was, of course, a very serious situation. And then everybody said that we are not going to buy flowers. We are not going to look at flowers the same way ever again. And this, please cheer us up. We are very sad now. And so this is how it is. You can take any word and then you can think yourself to sadness. Why? Because one lacks a punctuation mark in the internal world of thoughts, and it's a very important punctuation mark called full stop. So in our thought world, there is no full stop. There are only commas and semicolons and more commas and semicolons. And each thought becomes a run on with the next, with the next, with the next. Oh, this person is terrible. And then, why they are only terrible towards me? And then that's the next thought. And then, oh, see, last time also they did this. Next time also they are going to do this. And yes, I know that they should never be relied on and never be trusted. See from where to where we have gone. Or maybe something is wrong with me. Only I have such friends. And I am not able to make non toxic friends. This is the trendy word. Everything is toxic these days. And so, mm, and so therefore we talk about toxicity. We talk till we are sick. Okay, that's what makes it toxic. And so this way, this is the whole thing is a run-on sentence after run-on sentence. So there is a kind of a penchant for these run-on thoughts, and one ends up in sorrow. So, dissociation from association with sorrow is learning to reclaim the full stop, the period, and put it after every thought. Oh, no, 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 this is not going well. Full stop. That means you have to breathe, you have to pause, you have to count 5 to 1 backwards. And if that's not enough, count 10 to 1. And if that's not enough, count 100 to 1. Then that will be certainly enough. Make it a long full stop, a very long period between two thoughts. And so the ability to put a full stop is a manifestation of Chitta Samadhan, where the Raga Dvesha are not running the script. They are not writing a script for yet another tragedy in your life. A sad autobiography, written author, dual authors, co-authors, Raga and Dvesha. These are the authors. So don't let them write your autobiography, because that will be just a sad little tear jerker. So don't make them write the autobiography. So put a full stop after every thought. And also dissociation from people who bring out the worst in you. So internal dissociation from the thought patterns and external dissociations from the people who do not see you as you are. In fact, they want to see you as they like to see you. Always a little incapable, a little underconfident. They like you a little underdone. For what reasons? I don't know, but some kind of a old patterns, habitual patterns. And so, therefore, that is also avoided. You avoid the company of those people who bring you down with a kind of thoughts that you do not want to have any longer. You have outgrown those kinds of thinking patterns. Those vrittis do not have any allure for you. This is dukkha samyoga viyoga. So through these three methods, there is chitta samadhanam, the neutralization of the raga dvesha takes place. And then one is has samahita buddhi, a buddhi that is together. So such a person sukham ashnute, because sukham ashnute means is happy. Why? Because of their attitude towards action and result of action, etc., etc. So the one that has a cheerful disposition, the one that has cultivated healthy values and attitudes, the raga dveshas remain sleeping. Such a person is fit for Brahma Pratipatti. Brahma Pratipatti means assimilating Brahma Vidya, the knowledge that one is Bhagavan. Fit for Brahma Pratipatti, the person is like the bird with the wings intact and the head looking at the skies, ready to soar to moksha. So, therefore, this Vijnanamaya is very important. Vijnanamaya is Adhikari Sharira. And so, samadhanam atma iva atma. So therefore, this madhyama bhagaha iva. So then, this is the whole imagination. And because satyam is there, ritam is there, pressure, inner pressure has been neutralized with regard to cutting corners with regard to dharma. Then all this is there, the person is ready to take off. And then this is Vijnanamaya. Vijnanamaya knows dharma, knows what is right, what is wrong. That's why it is called Vijnanamaya. Then why should one go against it? The inner pressure. That's why. Outer pressure just responds to inner pressure. And then, so that's why Yoga Atma. That's why the Karma Yoga, life of Karma Yoga is so important for this Vijnanam, for this Brahma Pratipatti. And then further, Atmavataha hi yuktasya samadhanavataha angani iva shraddhadini yathartha pratipatti kshamani bhavanti. Therefore, yuktasya, endowed with the neutralized ragadvesha, samadhanavataha, whose mind is in repose, whose heart is at rest, not restless in the search of various ends and means. So, yathartha pratipatti kshamani bhavanti means samadhanavataha, means samadhanavan. Sixth case, samadhanavataha, for the person like atmavataha. So, for the person who has this samadhanam, for the person who has this samadhanam, then what about that person? So then Angani iva, as though endowed with yuktaha karma yogena yuktasya, endowed, for the person endowed with karma yoga, angani iva, angani, the various limbs, they help the person. For such an integrated person, endowed with karma yoga, endowed with the means of neutralizing the raga and dvesha, for the person who is emotionally matured and together as a person, who has chitta samadhanam, who has inner leisure born out of a life of living free of conflicts, living in the light of dharma. So Angani means all these limbs. Angani iva, that which is Angasthani yani, we have to take. that which is a stand-in for the various limbs, Shraddha, Ritam, Satyam, etc. Yathartha Pratipatti Kshamani Bhavanti. Yathartha Pratipatti. We are talking of Brahma Vidya. So this is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Satchidananda Lakshanam Brahma. And this Brahmavid Sarvan Kaman Ashnute Samashnute, the Brahmavid who gains all the kamas in one stroke. So this Adhikari, this Vijnanamaya, who is the Adhikari? And so we are talking of that person, Adhikara for what? Brahma Vidya is there. And so Yathartha Pratipatti, meaning we are working for this alone, to be able to see ourselves exactly as the Upanishad sees us. That is the idea. That is Yathartha Pratipatti, the vision of oneness. It doesn't say oneness, I'm just saying that Yathartha Pratipatti means when one's own self definition is in line with how the Upanishad defines the Atma, the I. Yatha Artham Tatha Pratipatti. So the artha is one thing, pratipatti is different, that's not the thing. Artha means the meaning is one thing. What is being said is one thing, what is being assimilated is quite another. Artha is rope, but the pratipatti is snake, rope snake. That is the problem. So here there is no difference between artha and pratipatti. That is yathartha pratipatti. Artha is Brahman, pratipatti is also Brahman. Otherwise, Artha is Brahman and Pratipatti is Aham Karta Bhokta. No, I am not the doer, I am not just the experiencer. Experiencer and doer are not outside of myself, but I am not just the doer and the experiencer. This is Yathartha Pratipatti. Yathartha is Brahman, Atma is Brahman, this is Yathartha. So then, Yatharthasya Pratipatti Kshamani Bhavanti. Samarthani Bhavanti. They become capable. Yathartha Pratipattehe Samarthani Bhavanti. They become capable of understanding the I exactly how it should be understood as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, non-separate from Ishvara. So, along with all the angas, what angas? The Shraddha becomes useful to you. Ethical life is possible for you. The attitude of yoga is there. If the attitude of yoga is there, all these things become useful to you. Shraddha and Dharma work for you, and your flight to Brahman is very much a possibility. Therefore, Yathartha Pratipatti Kshamani Sarvani Angani Bhavanti. Tasmat Samadhanam Yoga Atma Vijnanamayasya. He concludes this portion. Yoga Atma. Atma, Iva Atma, he pointed out, it's not really Atma. It is that which is the middle portion, Madhyama Bhaga. So, what is the Vijnanamayasya Atma? What is the Atma of this? Samadhanam, Chitta Samadhanam. And what is this Chitta Samadhanam? Cultivating the attitudes of Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, and Samadhanam, the spiritual six-pack. So, endowed with the spiritual six-pack. Shama, a resolved mind. Dama, non-reactivity with regard to the organs of action. Uparati, learning to let go. Titiksha, forbearance for the sake of the knowledge. Shraddha, we have seen in detail, trust. And Samadhanam, single-minded focus. These are all things to be cultivated. These we are going to see each one in detail in the Tuesday class. Aparokshanubhuti, we'll be seeing it one by one, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time here looking at them. And so, just briefly, this is what they mean. So then, all these things are there. When these things are there, the six-pack is there. Inner pressures are taken care of for that person. Then alone, Vijnanam is possible. Vijnanamaya is not only Karta here, but from Karta, the Vijnanamaya becomes Pramata, the knower. Pramata alone becomes Karta. And so, therefore, Tasmat Samadhanam Yoga Atma Vijnanamayasya. Then one part of the bird is left out. Which part is this? We have covered the head, we have covered the two wings, we have covered the body. What is left?
Tail.
Tail.
Tail. Yeah.
Tail is left, yes. And let us tell the tale of the tail. And what is the tail of the tail? Mahaha Pucham Pratishtha. Pucham means tail. Tail means that which is the foundation. The legs for us is the tail, has the function of the tail for the bird. In flight, the tail makes it, gives it stability. So, Mahaha Pucham Pratishtha. Suddenly, this word Mahaha, what is this Mahaha? Mahaha means Hiranyagarbha, Brahmaji. The potential, the one that is equipped to create, equipped with the power to create. So, Mahaha Pucham Pratishtha. So, Vijnanamayasya Pucham, the Pratishtha means the Pratishtha of the entire Antakarana is Mahaha, Manomaya, Pranamaya, Vijnanamaya, all of them together, the Sukshma Sharira. And so, we saw earlier Prithvi for Manomaya, for Pranamaya, and then for Manomaya, the Rishis, and then for Vijnanamaya, this Mahaha. But really, it is all Mahaha alone. Mahaha in various forms was talked about. Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha, Pranamaya also is Hiranyagarbha, but it's in the form of Sutratma, the Prithvi. Prithvi that pulls which has the gravitational force to pull the Vayu down. It keeps the air locked in the atmosphere with the gravitational force, whereas the Udana Vayu is pulling it upwards. And so that tension keeps the person alive as long as their lifespan is there. And so, but still, that is also a Hiranyagarbha only, but it is known through different names. So, Mahaha Pucham Pratishtha. And then, so this Hiranyagarbha and Mahaha synonyms. You can say Mahaha, you can say Hiranyagarbha. So let's see what Bhashyakara says. Mahaha iti Mahattattvam Prathamajam. This Mahaha, what is this? Mahat Tattva. Mahaha is short for Mahat, which means the great one. Tattvam, the great principle. Which is what? The firstborn, Prathamajam, that which was born first and that which gave birth to everything else. And then he talks about Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 5.4, mantra 1. What does he say? He quotes, Mahad Yaksham Prathamajam Veda iti Shrutyantara. Shrutyantara means from a different Shruti. From a different Shruti, what do we hear? Mahad Prathamajam Veda, Mahad Yaksham. Mahad means Prathamajam Veda. Here, why is he quoting this? Because the word Prathamajam is operative word. He wants to show, Bhashyakara, through this quote, wants to show that Mahaha, this Hiranyagarbha, came before everything else. And then Hiranyagarbha in turn created everything else. Hiranyagarbha is Prathamaja, first born. So Yaksham means Pujyam. Mahad Yaksham Pujyam Veda. Pujyam means Puja Yogyam, that which is fit to be worshipped. Like sometimes you go in front of a person of knowledge or a great Tyagi, a great renouncer, a great saint. You don't know anything about them. They are not even your guru. But somehow there is some feeling that is welling up in your heart because of which you touch their feet or you wish to serve them or you are very respectful of them and you highly revere them. You hold them in great regard. spontaneously, even without knowing something about them. That is called Pujya. And so this Hiranyagarbha is definitely Pujya. Why? Because it is manifestation of Bhagavan. And to this Hiranyagarbha, we owe our lives, we owe all the names and forms, and that's why it is Pujaniya, Puja Yogya. And so this is the quote. And the word yaksha should immediately take us to the story in the Kenopanishad, where where Bhagavan manifested himself as a yaksha and infiltrated, gate crashed a party that Indra, Agni, and Vayu were throwing to celebrate their victory. So that Yaksha was also very worshipful, and everybody who went lost their tongue and came back, tried to find out who he was, and did not succeed, and swallowed their tongue and came back. And so, like this is Mahat, and this is the Pucham Pratishtha. Now, why is the Mahat the tail of the bird? Mahaha, because Karanatvat Bhashyakara says, because it is Karanam, it is in the form of the cause. Karanam hi Karyanam Pratishtha Yatha Vriksha Virudham Prithivi. Karanam hi Karyanam Pratishtha. There is a very simple maxim. The cause is the pratishtha of the effect. The cause pervades the effect. The cause is more powerful than the effect. So cause pervades the effect, just like the earth pervades the cultivation. The earth is the cause of all the cultivation. Vriksha, tree, virudha. Virudha means, what is that? Little creepers. Valli ityartha. Little creepers, shrubs and creepers, small little shrubs and creepers are all taking ashraya, taking refuge in the earth. Similarly, all of everything, knowledge and everything, my own mind, my own buddhi, my own knowing, my own shraddha, my own dharma, my own chitta samadhanam, everything has its origins in what? In Hiranyagarbha alone. Therefore, the Vijnanamaya is pervaded by Hiranyagarbha, is included in the Hiranyagarbha, which is a manifestation of Bhagavan. My own Shraddha is not outside of Bhagavan. The capacity to trust is an order of Bhagavan. The capacity to go with the flow is also a order of Bhagavan. In fact, the flow is nothing but the manifestation of Bhagavan. So I'm always with Bhagavan. This is the way at the Vijnanamaya level. Again, the alienation between the Buddhi and Ishvara is cut. The notion of alienation is totally erased by this understanding that Mahaha Pucham Pratishtha. This Mahat Tattvam, this Ishvara in the form of the subtle world, the creator, the subtle manifestation, the subtle expression of the creator, this Ishvara alone is what? Abides, is the truth of the entire being of myself as the knower, as the doer. As the doer, I'm pervaded by Ishvara, I'm never away from Ishvara. How can you say that? What is free will? The power to do? Ishvara. What is the desire for results of action? Ishvara. What is the ability to follow dharma? Ishvara. What is the ability to have trust? Ishvara. What is the ability to speak the truth? Ishvara. It's all Ishvara. What is the ability to keep the raga dveshas in suspension? Ishvara. And if the raga dveshas go rogue, that disorder is also included in the order. Ishvara. You cannot say, not following not following dharma is Ishvara, you cannot say. But any adharma that is there is included in the order which is beyond dharma and adharma. That is Ishvara. And so then, where is the loneliness? Oh, I have to do everything by myself. You can never say henceforward. You can never say this. Oh, nobody is helping me. You can never say. I'm all alone in my thoughts. Nobody else. Nobody is studying Vedanta. Only me. That's also not true. And everybody else is understanding much more than me. That's also not true. Nothing, none of this is true. You are surrounded. Even if you say shoo to Ishvara, Ishvara will say hello mumukshu. Yeah, Ishvara is not going to say shoo back. You know, you say shoo, you can never get away from Ishvara. What do you mean? I'm all alone and alienated and cut off from the source. What do you mean you're cut off from the source? No, but Brahman is so far away. How to become one with Brahman? How to experience Brahman? How to hug Brahman and give Brahman a kiss? You don't have to give Brahman a kiss. It's all you. All that is there is you. That Brahman is never away from you in the form of Mahat Tattvam, in the form of Maha. Just look back and see your tail, and that is the tail, that is the foundation of everything. And then you cannot feel lonely because there is no loneliness. There is only no lonely. Okay? All that is there is Ishvara. And this is very beautiful because at every level we have cut this notion that that the individual is separate from Ishvara. Because in every kosha we have examined the Vyashti and then connected it to the Samashti. Samashti total, Vyashti individual. This individual thinking of herself as Karta Bhokta, thinking of himself as Pramata, is immediately undercut by the knowledge that the knowledge of this, the knowingness of this person is nothing other than Ishvara's knowledge. Knowledge is Ishvara, knowing is Ishvara, buddhi is Ishvara, the knowledge residing in the buddhi is Ishvara. Antahkarana is Ishvara, the cleansing, the ability to cleanse the Antahkarana is also Ishvara. Everything is Ishvara all the way. That is at the level of the total. And so the individual who is cut off from the total is no longer cut off. And the whole kosha becomes a source of prayer and cleansing so that, and it's no longer a pitfall or a locus of error. The locus of error has become a place of refuge where I look at Ishvara from the standpoint of so many altars, starting with my own body, with my own prana, with my own mind, with my own buddhi. It is just so beautiful. So beautiful. And this is only Pujya Swamiji's explanation. No other, if you study Bhashya with so many other teachers and all, this is not talked about. This is only in this lineage you will get this. That beautiful oneness at every level, because when Pujya Swamiji used to teach, it used to be that every class would be a flowering of that oneness in the heart. And that is because of his skill, no doubt, but also because he was so dedicated to the Shastra as the Pramana. And then so every class came alive, and that oneness was iterated again and again. And so here the Upanishad also does that at every level. We saw that Annamaya, Annam Brahma, body is Brahman, Annam is Brahman. Body is made up of a modified Annam. Prana is Brahman. Prana is Sutratma. Not only me, everything breathes for life. Prana is life, life is Bhagavan, breathing is Bhagavan, breath is Bhagavan, out breath is Bhagavan, in breath is Bhagavan. Kumbhaka, the what is that? The pause between two breaths in the inhale, Bhagavan. Rechaka, the pause between two breaths upon the exhale, also Bhagavan, Pranamaya. Then Manomaya again, the whole world of thoughts is Veda. Veda is Bhagavan. Veda is are just thoughts, and those thoughts are all of means and ends. And means are Bhagavan, end is Bhagavan. It is just lovely. And then same Vijnanamaya, that is also Bhagavan for all the purposes that we have seen. And Mahaha Pucham Pratishtha. Mahaha is Prathamajan, first born, but still Sopi Jayate, that is also born. But here we are slowly from born going to the unborn. And the whole thing completes itself with the imagery of the bird in the what's its name, Anandamaya Kosha, which we'll see in the coming weeks. And then that is Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. The tail of the Anandamaya bird is Brahman alone. Very beautiful. And we'll see that we are slowly going to that various things. And then so here, Sarva Buddhi Vijnananam cha Mahattvatvam Karanam. Tena Tad Vijnanamayasya Atmanaha Pratishtha. Being the cause of everything, it is the Pratishtha, it is the foundation of the Vijnanamaya. Then we see the Upasana. Next class, we will see the Upasana connected to the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Every Kosha has an Upasana, and that Upasana has Phalam. So we will see both of that in the coming next week. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you.
Thank you